Hello, everyone. This is my first YouTube video. I'm name is Philip Sarin. I'm professor of economics at the University of Winnipeg, and I thought I'd start a YouTube channel because from time to time I get calls from the media asking me to comment on issues, and I thought maybe a longer form uh, approach might be useful. As I say, I'm a professor of economics. I specialize in regulation, competition policy, have interest in healthcare, taught energy, other areas, microeconomics, econometrics. So I have a wide background in terms of fields. And so I thought this might be a useful YouTube channel to have for students and the lay public who would like to get some background in some issues and to start a debate. I really don't have any other goal other than kind of illustrating some of these issues for the lay public and for students. So to get started, the first topic that I think I'd like to comment on is the rise of artificial intelligence. And a lot of people have been thinking, well, this is going to revolutionize lots of industries. And there is some evidence that that has started and will begin to start. But I think it's useful to put it into context in terms of what might happen down the road to get some background. Notice if you use or if you're familiar with AI, you can basically ask it all sorts of questions and you'll get quite a quick response. So, for example, you might want to say, well, how do I write code for a certain statistical program? Or you might ask it to give you some background information on a public policy concept. And so it'll give you that information quite readily. But the question is, how is that going to work backwards in terms of the decision by students and other people to acquire skills? And sometimes it's useful to think in terms of an analogy. So at one time, lots of people used to have some basic skills in terms of, say, automobile repair. So if you're someone of my generation, you may have had an old vehicle that you worked on. But essentially what happened is that consumer good uh, became less accessible to the average person. So the skills then became concentrated in a few people who were involved in developing the computer systems and developed the robotics to actually put the automobiles together. So now you're at a point where an individual is hard pressed to do anything on their automobile. Now, we still have the automobile repair industry, so that's still going. But you've moved the skills which people used to have a general skill to make it more of a specific skill, and you've kind of um, shut it off from the larger skill development of people. So now it's concentrated on mechanics. And another example that I want to raise is, which seems to be quite different, is that if you're going to use AI as a way of creating content of some sort, um, think of if you may be a music fan and you think, okay, what has changed or what had changed over the last, say, several decades? There was the rise of sampling, which was music, which was, or songs that were put together from taking melodies and other parts of what were quite successful songs and repackaging them into a uh, a new song. Now, what did that do? Well, it de-skilled certain number of musicians. Now, there still are a fair number of musicians, and that still has been continuing, but the rise of that technology took some skill away or individuals thought that they could be successful as producers and arrangers without acquiring the sort of musical virtuosity that you might get if you were a musician. So, in a sense, it's replacing the skill development that you might have had, or in other words, it's allowing people to enter this industry without the fundamental background skill. For example, you can imagine, being your own lawyer and getting AI to put together a legal brief for you. Now, you may not have any firm understanding of what legal principles are, apart from what you got from AI. But the problem with AI is always that in order to know whether it'll be useful, you have to have some background in the area to be able to judge the validity of AI. So these are a couple examples. I'm sure there are more, but I think this is an interesting research area. And thought I would start off my channel with this talk. And if you have any comments and you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Bye for now.